Yeah, this game must have been sponsored by Ford, man, because it was tough to watch. All right, I'm talking about Alyssa Thomas and company taking Caitlyn out, the refs allowing nonsense, getting Kelsey Mitchell her sixth foul off of a step back that wasn't even a push-off. Then don't even allow her to exit the floor. Don't even say she has a sixth foul. She's walking off the floor. They let the play continue. They let the Mercury take the ball out. Now they...
Body language doesn't lie. Watch that reaction carefully, because what we just witnessed is a masterclass in frustration. This wasn't just a bad game. This was a systematic breakdown of officiating that left one of the league's brightest stars visibly compromised, walking off the court in pain while referees turned a blind eye to dangerous play after dangerous play. We're talking about the Indiana Fever versus Phoenix Mercury matchup that had fans, coaches, and analysts questioning whether player safety means anything when ratings and narratives are on the line. Because what happened on that court wasn't basketball. It was a clinic in how to injure a player without consequences.
What you throwing balls for? What? Okay. So Caitlyn, she's seeing all the nonsense already. She's like, all right, I see what type of day I'm about to have. Let's go ahead and go to work. Look, full speed downhill, meow. Just took off on both of them. Y'all want the action? I'm gonna give it to you. Caitlyn Clark, man, turning into that MVP candidate that I know she can be. Lexi Hill must have said something about Caitlyn Clark's mother because it got personal, man. Watch how she just did her dirty.
Now watch this sequence closely. Pay attention to the body mechanics here. That's not incidental contact. That's a deliberate shoulder lean from Alyssa Thomas, driving directly into Caitlyn Clark's path. And here's what makes this significant. This is the second time in less than 2 minutes that Thomas has made contact with Clark. The first time, Clark immediately signals for a substitution. She knows something's wrong, but the referees, they're letting it play. No whistle, no review. Just allowing the physical escalation to continue while Clark is clearly compromised. And this pattern is about to get worse, because what happens next crosses the line from aggressive defense into dangerous recklessness.
Back, she didn't even sit on the bench. Now let's get to the UFC move. Watch this. She's crossing up, she ends up falling, and watch this knee, man. Watch this knee right here. Goes right into the groin, dog. Oh my goodness, look at this, man. And when you go back, you see Stephanie White is yelling something. I don't know what she's yelling. Look at this. I don't know what she's yelling, man, but nobody's paying attention to the dirty work being put on her.
There it is, the knee to the groin. Watch Thomas fall forward and drive her knee directly into Clark's midsection. This isn't a basketball play. This is a UFC move disguised as a loose ball scramble. And the most damning part? Look at the referees. Not one of them is watching the contact point. Every official's head is turned away from the action. Meanwhile, Stephanie White is on the sideline screaming for a call. Her players are pointing at the contact. And the broadcast just keeps rolling like this is normal playoff intensity. But here's what nobody's talking about. This is the third direct hit Clark has taken from Thomas in this game. At what point does a pattern become intentional? At what point do the referees step in and protect a player who's clearly being targeted? The answer, apparently, is never. Because the very next possession, we're about to see something even more egregious.
Fist to the throat, right? The knee to the groin. Look, everybody's head is down, way. I don't know, man. What y'all looking at, all right? And then you have Stephanie. She came out and she said this right here. Listen to what she said. Hold on, let me fix this. Listen to what she said.
You're coming in here aware of what happened 2 nights ago? And that still happens? Absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And the reckless
closeout. Watch this carefully. AE jumps forward on Clark's three-point attempt, lands on Clark's planted foot, and the referees review it. They have the replay. They can see the contact. They can see Clark's ankle roll under AE's weight, and they decide not to upgrade the call to a flagrant. Let me put this in perspective. The WNBA has specific rules about closeouts precisely because of how dangerous they are. A defender cannot invade the shooter's landing space. It's one of the most clearly defined safety rules in the rulebook. The league implemented these protections after multiple players suffered serious ankle and knee injuries from reckless closeouts. And yet, with video evidence showing clear contact, with Clark visibly limping after the play, the officials decide this doesn't meet the threshold for a flagrant foul. Which raises the obvious question, what does meet that threshold? How badly does Clark need to be hurt before the referees decide her safety matters?
It right to AB getting strong, telling Alyssa Thomas, get big, out here flopping and mopping. Look at that, man. Get out of here. AB with a big bucket. I love that. Now, I have seen them do this a few times. You're going to see them get Lexi Hole wide open in the corner. Watch how Caitlin gets it. She's just going to kind of run back and forth. So she goes left, then she's going to come right. Then you're going to see Mo being smart. Hey, I'm coming over here and I'm going to set this screen. Lexi's going to come over here and she's going to be wide open. They're not even paying.
Now let's talk about Stephanie White's post-game comments, because this is where the frustration boils over. White doesn't mince words. She calls the officiating absolutely unacceptable and absolutely disrespectful. Those aren't casual criticisms. Those are fighting words from a coach who's watched her franchise player get battered for 40 minutes without protection. And here's what makes White's comments so significant. She specifically mentions that the league is aware of what happened 2 nights prior. This isn't happening in a vacuum. The Fever have been raising concerns about the physical treatment of Clark for weeks. They've filed reports. They've had conversations with league officials, and nothing has changed. White's reference to a generational talent and a WNBA superstar is deliberate. She's reminding the league what's at stake here. Clark isn't just any player. She's driving viewership numbers the WNBA hasn't seen in decades. She's bringing new fans to the sport. She's generating revenue that benefits every team in the league. And the officials are allowing her to be targeted with impunity.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Indiana Fever girls once again. Y'all should have got this game, but it's cool. Look, you're going to see Kelsey Mitchell get it, and they're going to call this a foul on her. Now, I want to see the extended arm. Look, where's the extended arm? Oh, my goodness, man. Look, selling it like a mug, dog. Yo, just give it an Oscar, fam. Give it an Oscar. This is crazy work. Crazy work. Kelsey Mitchell didn't even extend her arm. She knew Kelsey was going to knock this down. Step back. Knocking it down. Game should have been tied. This is crazy work, man. Get out of here.
But the officiating failures don't stop with the physical contact. Let's examine the absolute chaos at the end of this game, because what happens in the final minute is a case study in incompetence. Kelsey Mitchell hits a step-back jumper to potentially tie the game, except the referees call an offensive foul for a push-off that didn't exist. Watch the replay. Mitchell's arm never extends. There's no separation created by her hand. The defender is selling contact that didn't happen, and the officials are buying it completely. So Mitchell fouls out. Game over, right? Wrong, because the referees don't communicate that it's her 6th foul. They don't stop play to allow the substitution. They just let the Mercury inbound the ball while Mitchell is walking off the court, confused about whether she's even still in the game. The Fever coaching staff is screaming at her to get back on the floor. Mitchell runs back, realizes she's already fouled out, and now Indiana has to intentionally foul to stop play because the referees have completely lost control of the game management. This forces the Fever to put Phoenix on the free throw line instead of being able to defend the final possession. It's a complete breakdown of basic officiating procedure, and it directly impacts the outcome of a playoff seeded game.
Gets it, throws it. Now watch this. Okay, ball loose. She touches it. Boom. That's a kick ball. Kick ball, dog. Boom. Once again, kick ball. Ref staring at it. Man, you can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make this stuff up, man. Ref, you don't want to call that a kick ball, dog. Oh, man, they did everything to get this game to the Mercury. Man, I'm done, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about the breakdown. I love y'all.
And then, as if the officials needed to put an exclamation point on their incompetence, we get the no call on the kickball. Watch this final sequence. The ball is loose. A Mercury player clearly kicks it with her foot. It's not incidental contact. It's a deliberate kick to gain possession. The referee is staring directly at the play and there's no whistle. In a game decided by 3 points where every possession matters, the officials miss or ignore 3 game-altering calls in the final 2 minutes. The phantom offensive foul on Mitchell, the failure to manage her 6th foul properly, and the kickball that would have given Indiana possession with a chance to tie. Any one of those calls gets made correctly, and we might be talking about a different outcome. All 3 getting botched in favor of the same team? That's not incompetence. That's a pattern. Now here's what makes this situation even more problematic for the league. This game had massive viewership. Caitlin Clark draws ratings. People tune in to watch her play. And what did those viewers see? They saw a star player get physically targeted without protection. They saw questionable officiating decide a close game. They saw a coach publicly blast the referees in a post-game press conference. That's not the product the WNBA wants to showcase. But here's the deeper issue that nobody wants to address. Is there an institutional resistance within the league to protecting Clark precisely because she's bringing so much attention? There's been a narrative all season about Clark needing to earn her stripes and pay her dues in the physical WNBA. Veterans have openly discussed the rookie hazing she needs to endure, but at what point does hazing become targeting? At what point does letting her get hit become a safety issue? The league has a vested interest in Clark staying healthy and productive. She's driving revenue growth that benefits everyone, but they also have veteran players and coaches who resent the attention she receives. There's a tension between protecting their biggest asset and maintaining credibility with the existing player base who feel like the league is bending over backward for a rookie, and the referees are caught in the middle of that tension. Are they being told to let teams play physical against Clark? Are they being instructed to avoid giving her superstar calls because it would create backlash? Or are they just incompetent and missing obvious fouls consistently? Whatever the answer, the result is the same. Clark is getting hit more than any other player in the league, and the officials aren't protecting her. The data backs this up. Clark leads the league in uncalled fouls according to multiple tracking metrics. She's absorbing contact on drives that would send other players to the free throw line. She's getting held and grabbed off ball without whistles. And when the contact crosses into dangerous territory, like the knee to the groin or the reckless closeout, the referees are reviewing the plays and still deciding not to assess flagrant fouls. Stephanie White's frustration is completely justified. She's watching her player get targeted, and the league isn't doing anything about it. Her comments about this being absolutely unacceptable aren't hyperbole. They're a coach recognizing that if this continues, her franchise player is going to get seriously injured, and it's going to happen because the officials refuse to enforce the rules designed to prevent exactly these situations. Think about what message this sends to the rest of the league. If you can knee Caitlin Clark in the groin and not get a flagrant, what can't you do? If you can land on her ankle during a closeout and have the officials review it and decide it's not worth upgrading, why would you ever worry about being too physical with her? The lack of consequences is creating an environment where players know they can get away with dangerous plays as long as the target is Clark. And here's the thing about Alyssa Thomas specifically. She's built her career on physical, aggressive play. That's her game. She sets hard screens. She bodies people in the post. She plays with an edge that makes her effective. But watch those screens she sets on Clark throughout this game. Her feet aren't set. She's leaning into the contact. She's moving as Clark comes through. Those aren't legal screens. Those are moving picks designed to deliver maximum impact, and the officials are letting every single one of them go. The screen at 7 minutes where Thomas leans her shoulder into Clark? That's an offensive foul by rule. The screen at 9 minutes where her feet are wider than shoulder width and she's clearly moving laterally? Also a foul, but neither gets called, and Thomas keeps doing it because there's no consequence. Now compare that to how the officials called Kelsey Mitchell's 6th foul. Mitchell executes a step-back jumper, a move she's made thousands of times in her career. There's minimal contact, her arm doesn't extend, and the referee calls an offensive foul that fouls her out of a crucial game. The inconsistency is staggering. Thomas can deliver shoulder blocks on moving screens all game without a whistle, but Mitchell gets tossed for a phantom push-off. So where does this leave us? The Fever lost a game they should have won, in large part because the officiating was atrocious. Clark left the court in visible pain after absorbing multiple dangerous hits. Stephanie White publicly called out the league for failing to protect her player, and the WNBA has to decide how to respond. They could acknowledge the officiating failures and commit to better protecting Clark going forward. They could issue a statement supporting player safety and promising to hold officials accountable. They could fine White for her comments and pretend everything is fine. Based on the league's history, which option do you think they'll choose? Because here's the reality. The WNBA needs Caitlin Clark healthy and playing at a high level. She's too valuable to the league's growth to let her get injured by reckless play. But they also can't be seen as giving her special treatment, because that creates its own set of problems with players and fans who already resent the attention she receives. So they're trying to thread an impossible needle, and the result is inconsistent officiating that leaves everyone frustrated. The solution isn't complicated. Call the game by the rulebook, protect all players equally, assess flagrant fouls when players make dangerous plays regardless of who the victim is. It's not about giving Clark superstar calls, it's about enforcing the safety rules that already exist. But until the league commits to that standard, we're gonna keep seeing games like this one, where a star player gets battered and the officials do nothing. So the question for you, is this incompetence or is it intentional? Are the referees just missing calls, or are they being influenced by a narrative that Clark needs to be toughened up? And either way, how many more games like this can happen before someone gets seriously hurt? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep this conversation going, because the WNBA needs to hear that fans aren't okay with what we witnessed in this game.